Right from the outset, our administration, the President and I, have made improving relationships with our neighbors a priority. And I emphasize the word relationships, not just specific transactional occurrences, our overall relationship. I need not tell this great university that there's a lot of history shaping our engagement in the region, and not all of it positive. And we've recognized that. But we've also made a decision. We weren't going to be bound by the mistakes of the past or trapped in outmoded ideologies that no longer were relevant in the 21st century. So from the outset, when the president one day turned to me and, like is his habit, and he said, "Joe, why don't you do the hemisphere? Like, why don't you wash the windows? I mean, why do you think I'm joking? I'm not. Why don't you do the hemisphere?" And I said, "Okay, Mr. President, I'll do the hemisphere." But all kidding aside, we made it clear, and I made it clear from the beginning, our relationship, this administration relationship, America's relationship with the hemisphere, would be grounded on mutual respect. No longer would we ask, what can the United States do for the region? What we literally ask and want to know is, what can we do with the region in true partnership? It's not what we can do for, it's what we can do with. And just that one commitment has had a profound impact on our relationships from Chile to Mexico and everywhere in between. When the President asked me to spearhead our engagement in the region, it's something I took very, very seriously. I traveled, I've spent most of my career dealing with American foreign policy and the judiciary. I've traveled over 1,300,000 miles just since being 200,000 miles just since being Vice President. But a significant part of that has been to the region. I've made over a dozen trips into the hemisphere. And I've met with leaders from across the region over the past 7 years, and I've noticed a marked shift in attitude toward the United States. And those of you who deal in the region, I think, would acknowledge that. There's literally a shift in attitude about U.S. motives and our willingness to participate. And so I'm proud to say that today, I think I can say without fear of contradiction, our relationships in the neighborhood are as good as they've ever been in American history. That doesn't mean we still don't have disagreements, we do. But our willingness to engage with seriousness and with respect has changed the way the leaders, and I would argue the people of the region, view us, from the CARICOM countries throughout the hemisphere. And that's critical, in my view, because the Western Hemisphere is not the same place it was 20 years ago, or even 10 years ago.